Hi, I'm Dom, and welcome to my workshop. Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome back. Episode 2 of the Vespa build. Right, what's next? This is usually how my days start. What are we gonna do now? Center stands on, side panels are done. Where do we go? When I took the Vespa apart, trying to be as organized as possible, I've got these big ugly bits of racking in the workshop that you can see. There's one over there as well. Look, full of junk. I've got this awesome little staircase that's on wheels, so I can just go in here, and then on this shelf here, everything in here is Vespa, all the bits. And I just basically walk up here and grab something and fix it. So today, I'll tackle the fuel tank. Here it is there. Basically, I've got all the pieces broken apart on the bench, up on the shelves. It's in a million pieces. I've got the headset over there, the handlebars. Basically, that needs a lot of work, so I'm sort of putting that off. The fuel tank should be quite straightforward, so I'm gonna try and tackle that one today. This is the original fuel tank. It's got nice little details like this cool little original sticker on the top. And again, tons of original paint. This has never been painted. The bike was made in '76 and this has never been painted. So I want to do everything I can to try and keep as much of this paint as I possibly can. You can see around the edge, it sort of started to chip off and stuff. I've actually sandblasted that because that was all completely rusty. So I just put that in the sandblaster, very carefully removed all of the rust from the metal. That's just bare metal now, ready for me to prime and repaint. I did have one issue with this actually. Fuel in the top, obviously, comes out a hole in the bottom. That's where it comes out, and it has this fuel tap in the bottom. Right, that goes in there. So your hose attaches onto there, and goes to your carburetor, to the engine. And then this part should, in theory, twist. And it's basically, it's got 2 tubes. When your fuel runs low, the scooter starts sort of spluttering and like, oh, it's running out of fuel. You can actually switch it. This should move, and then inside there, it just spins a little disc, and then it starts picking up fuel from this lower tube instead, which is genius. It's such a good idea. Then you know I'm running low on fuel, so I'm in my reserve, so that's onto the smaller tube, so you've only got that much fuel left, time to get to a petrol station. Unfortunately, this is completely seized up, and I've tried to get it apart, but it's just the castings on it. It's just had it, basically, and I'm a bit sad to have to get rid of it, but I've got a brand new one. You can see, so this filter here is to stop all of the rusty bits of dirt and stuff that might be in the fuel getting into the carburetor. You need to keep that as clean as possible. And then there you go, that bit twists, see? So that's the full fuel tank, and then when you run out of fuel, oh, flick it to reserve, brilliant, picks it up from the bottom tube, you know you've got a few miles left of fuel. Problem is, getting this out. That was, basically that goes inside there, and then this nut fits over the top on the inside of the tank, and it's a big old nut that would go over the top and screw on. I can't get 2 fingers in there, and I was just, how on earth am I going to get that nut off of there to get that out? You can't really grip it. I definitely can't get a socket and a spanner in there. I can't grip this to turn it because that will just spin. So how on earth am I supposed to do this? Of course, as with everything, there is a tool for the job. Unfortunately, I don't have it. So I'm here in the middle of lockdown in the workshop. I want to get this tank done. I'll just make my own. So here is what I've come up with. I've just used whatever materials I had lying around. A piece of angle here for strength, and then this is just a piece of just round bar bent around the shape. You can see that the nut fits in there nicely. So basically all I did was feed that in the top of the tank. Oh, just about fits. Slip that in there, put it over the nut. My little T-handle, I can crank that round and undo it. Perfect, and it worked so well. I'm really pleased. This is probably the second or third tool I've had to make whilst doing this Vespa, and I'm really reluctant to buy these tools because I think this was about 15, 20 pounds to buy it, but I'm only going to use it once. I don't plan on ever having to take this apart ever again. So it's just like, you know what, I'll just make my own. And it worked. It's crude, it's a bit ugly, but hey, it did the job. In my quest to try and save as much of the original paint as I can, you can see this is kind of, it's good, it's there, but it's got little bits of rust and little dirts, dings, bents, bits of it here. So I'm basically giving it a bath. Got some nice hot soapy water, and this is what, 1200 sandpaper, wet and dry sandpaper. This is basically very, very fine sandpaper. All I'm doing is sanding the top of the paint. So you can see, this is just, you can see the coming off, look, slightly yellow. So it's just taking off the very, very top layer of paint and removing all of those little bits of dirt, those bits of surface rust. I mean, it's gonna have its character still. It's gonna have the dings in there. It should just leave me with a nice, clean surface. Then I can touch up any of the bits that I need to. This is a lot more work than just repainting it. It would definitely be a lot easier to just sandblast everything, strip it all back, prime it, and repaint everything. Then I just think it would lose so much character. I mean, it literally looks like it's like it's been dumped in a hedge for 20 years. But actually, to be honest, it probably has. And I just want to keep that, as much of that as possible, as much as I possibly can. These things have only got their original paint once. Once it's gone and sanded off, that's it. It's gone forever. Even though it does take twice as long. Come on, look at that. So I will now go back and clean all this up, dry it all off. These areas are going to get primed with a proper etch primer for the bare metal. Then I've got a perfect colour match for this yellow, and you'll never know, that will look brilliant. Oh, all right, Wendy. Hey. Right, I've masked up all this. I've used blue roll because that's all I've got. I can't find my masking paper. I think I might have left it at the repair shop. And then I'm just going to very gently now put a light cover over that bare metal. All I'm trying to do is protect this from going more rusty. I completely understand that you might think I'm mental for all I'm doing is saving this patch of original paint. I will let that dry, I'll sand it back again with the wet and dry sandpaper, flatten it back, then build in the yellow, and it will look good, trust me. I have an apology to make. I'm sorry, completely forgot to film spraying the yellow. But basically it was the same as the grey, but yellow. Look, it's still masked up. Let me pull the tape off. Okay, right. Done. Look at that. So I've got really smart, clean, rust-free looking tank. But if you look closely, because I've kept as much of the original paint as possible, the odd little ding and dent and nick and sort of like, you know, bit around, see the odd mark, it just looks real, looks new. You would never know that I've repainted it. Well, hopefully not anyway. That was a ton of work just to put it underneath the seat and nobody will ever see it. But hey, oh well. All I need to do now is put it back together, basically, which is pretty simple. If I can find all the bits, hang on. Love it. Look at that. Brilliant. Now I've got the tank completely repainted, restored. The inside is really nice and clean. I can't really show a picture of the inside, but you'll have to just take my word for it. It is spotlessly clean. You can eat your dinner off of it in there. It's lovely and clean inside. Doesn't leak, I've tested it. It's all good. All I need to do now is put this new fuel tap on. I'll use my new tool to do up the nut. We'll check again, make sure it's not leaking. We're good to go. Another job done. Easier said than done. Oh, come on. That's working. Look at that. There we go. Well, this has been a very expensive thing to restore. At least I've saved £15 there of buying a new tool. I need to make sure it's tight enough because I don't want this leaking later down the line. Okay, and that is it. There we go. One original Vespa fuel tank, all new seals, new fuel tap, fully restored, nice and clean inside. I'll now put that up on the shelf in the done pile, thank goodness, and get on with the next bit.